All right, good evening, guys. Kind of Tortoise Capital Nightly Strategy Podcast for February 22nd, 2024. We'll start with, as always, the hybrid swing portfolio, beginning with Alcoa. This is all on 30-minute charts. No trade. AI, there was a gap and go. It reversed almost instantly for a 1 hour loss, and then nothing for the rest of the day. Gap and go in Caterpillar, that basically was a scratch. Cliff, there was a gap and go, and it went nowhere on the first move, and then so scratch, and then it reversed, then broke out above the dragon, and the whole market was starting to move at this point. So speculated in, standard risk box gives us +1, and then exit near the end of the day. No overnight risk. CVS caught a 2 for a fraction. The Dow was a gap and go, and then that one paid off. This makes me feel very, very confident for tomorrow. So I got to beware of that. But this thing gapped and go. It came down and held and then resumed. There was probably a second position that could have been added in here, but we'll take this one with that closed right there for about 3R in hand. And there was a lot of buying pressure for that fourth R. So this has a real good chance to be strong tomorrow. Disney, no trade. It has stopped failing, so this actually is a very favorable opportunity for tomorrow. If you take a look at how strong Disney has been, that big gap up, it has held. It's still all of this stuff to the good, and it's been that high twice, and it's fallen twice, and it failed to fail further. I really think this is a critical state to go in either direction. That's going to be a very high priority tomorrow on a Friday. And I think it's got to play catch up, is what I think. Devon Energy, no trade. Emerging markets, mostly it was the gap up and then sideways, nothing. ETHE, gap and go, and 2R, and holding that one overnight because it's at a key price level and feels pretty strong. Mexico, at the end of 4 days of sell-off, gave us a 1, 2, 3 entry on a PSAR flip, and we cashed 1.5R. Brazil was no trade. No trade in China. Intel, no trade. It missed the short side. IP, no trade sideways. Real estate, no trade. Coca-Cola, 1, 2, 3 entry, and the market drove it north, and we're holding 1R in hand, and I want to maintain that one because it's near that all-time high and looking to go. I like it. It's a Buffett stock. I like it. No trade in regional banks. McDonald's, another Buffett kind of stock. PSAR flip and holding 1.5R overnight. The other China, no trade. Merck was a 1, 2, 3 entry on strength, and it kept going. So yesterday's little afternoon rally turned out to be a predictor of today. Nobody knew. But that's holding 4R at the close. So we like that one for tomorrow. Microsoft, gap and go. And then we got the second leg up with a 1, 2, 3 as it crossed the VWAP, and we're holding an R overnight. Marijuana, no trade. Nike, no trade. Nvidia, up 16% for the day on unbelievable earnings. The real winner in the AI wars, no trade. There wasn't enough during the day to really get much. Clean energy, collapsing dragon. I wanted to hold that overnight, but that made me exit on second thought for an R. Palantir, I'm swing trading that one, and but I don't have that one. I'm still studying it for our purposes. Rivian was a great big collapse. Oh my goodness, it got smashed. Down 25%. That may be the end of Rivian as we know it. The S&P a new all-time high on a great big, when it gaps above the previous peak, that's a good sign, and it followed through. Treasuries stabilized. Tesla was caught a 2, 1, 2, 3 entry, holding 2R overnight. Walmart, 1, 2, 3 entry, holding 2R overnight. I think that one is a real chance to go. And then U.S. Steel was a gap and go, and cashed one after it began to fail. Let's see. Here's a good one for you to study. This is Tesla on 1 minute. I posted this one on Patreon with some questions for you to ask. What do you notice first? What are the aha moments? What are the rules you might use? If you look 2 or 3 times, what do you begin to see? How would you describe what you see to somebody who doesn't know our techniques? How would you interpret this for them to understand what we're looking for? So that's a pretty good quiz for you to learn how to look at evidence and begin to formulate hypotheses and theories. It's good practice. Here was some visual box trading in DIA this morning. So this was the big gap and go. I like establishing the initial channel by seeing where does the R10 reverse, and then that sets up this blue area as kind of the channel. Then I like it when it finds support here, crosses the dragon, which then starts rising. Then I get a 1, 2, 3 entry with a standard risk to the PSAR flip. And after leg 1 and then leg 2, I take the exit here for 2R. Then the PSAR flip, standard risk, get 1.5 R to here. Tried this one. It ended up being a good trade, but that was sort of visual box trading on 1 minute bars, and trading based on feelings. This one is the same idea, but for ETHE. Here was yesterday's close. Here was the gap up. This is a R10 bracket. This was a breakout of a plus R10 move to here. So long from there with a initial stop here. I move up to the essentially to the VWAP. And then once here's the VWAP right there. And then here's where the PSAR goes. The PSAR catches up to the VWAP right here. So let me draw the VWAP, and I should have done that in orange. So I'm using the VWAP as my exit until the PSAR catches up, and then the PSAR becomes my exit. And then when price failed here, that's where I get out. So on that much risk, that's a 2R trade. I'll take a look at the traders. OR3 entry from Jonathan. Peak. The R10 or the RL10 rolls over. He takes that exit, gets 0.2, and then nothing. That's a good trade. You got what was available. This is the hated Facebook Meta. Gets the OR3 entry. So there's your OR3. Here's where it enters. He gets this one. He gets the re-entry on the Kata 2, exits for 0.7 and 0.4, gets the third Kata 2. I like that. It's still above, it's above the VWAP and above the PSAR and above this dragon and above the Bollinger Band mean. And it's a PSAR flip, and you're right near the high of the day. I like that entry. Why not? And you got paid a little bit for 0.38. So total of 1.3. That's pretty good work, by the way, Nothing wrong with that. Can make a living that way. Hamad gets a OR3 for 0.4 and has to scratch here to break even. On this is Walgreens. Yeah, Walgreens. He gets 0.2. He stays with it. There's his PSAR flip and a beautiful exit. When this fails to follow through, he takes the exit here at the skin of the dragon when the R10 rolls over for a positive 0.2. He gets scratches because there just wasn't much movement here in Microsoft. You'd have had to have gotten that first little move, but most of Microsoft's gains came from the gap. But this was a nice job in here getting 0.2 and 0.2 on those grinds. So that's actually pretty good. Nice job with the 0.6 here on Advanced Micro. If he takes the OR3, he gets that first leg, but that's two pretty good trades right there. I like this one short because you think it's going to come down and test this, but when it didn't, you cut it quick. That's good work for a positive 0.6. This one is later in the afternoon on McDonald's. Anytime you get like McDonald's, to me, when you see it doing these are all higher lows in the RL10 because that's where the RL10 turns. Here's where it crosses the VWAP. So that's like a Kata 2 after the VWAP, and that gets you 0.8. That is outstanding patience. Really well done. Gets 1R on Merck. And Merck is one of those that actually moves pretty nice during the day. I've been really impressed with it. And so there's a Kata 2 that happens on the north side of the VWAP and above the PSAR. That's a really good entry. So is that one, so is that one, so is that one. And so what? You still got 1R on that one. That's good work. Merck is making an argument for why it should be respected. Here's the Aussie. And this is from Luke. and pulling another 2R out of this thing in here. And he wasn't in the office, so he didn't get what would normally be this automatic trade, which would have been another 8R. He's using 25 pips as his range for targets. So this is really looking pretty good. This mechanical system that he's putting together for Forex. We'll do a quick look at the at the reports. Been a long day today. Had a 4-hour certification workshop today with Water Center for Systems Thinking. I'm getting my certification as an advanced facilitator. I've been doing systems thinking for over 30 years. Felt like it was finally time I got a certification, and it's going really well, really enjoying it. Let's see, so let's fit page. New all-time high. Yeah, and a very strong close on the 30-minute. We are back to optimal conditions here on overbought, bullish normal. Still concerned about risk off, so we got to keep playing these one day at a time. Don't let that chase you away from being long, because that's catching a lot of professionals by surprise, because they've been saying for weeks that it can't last. Sure it can. As long as they disbelieve, then that's good. Still a handful, couple 3 symbols on the auto framer. That's Boeing, Cisco, and Disney. I like Disney here, by the way. And then big breakouts for long-term plays that are, 6-month new highs for DuPont, Home Depot, JP Morgan, NVIDIA crushing everything, and then Procter and Travelers. So a lot of things to choose from in many different sectors. There's broad consensus that this is good. And now all the globals are playing catch up as well. Let's just go right to our last little gizmo here. Yeah, everything worked today. So we're going to look at our chart here. This is actually a hint of what could be a really surprising rally. The fact that we're getting almost a Kata 2 here instead of a return to the 0 line. You're getting the 30 is hinting at a promise, and the 10 has room to go, and the 90 wouldn't mind to keep going. So today was a very interesting one. Tomorrow is going to be fireworks of follow through. I wouldn't bet against a big day tomorrow. All right, that's everything we got for today. We'll get this published and processed. And if you haven't taken the foundations course, the briefing that we did, the quick lesson that we did before today, today's nightly podcast, it was worth the price of admission. It's one of 75 different lessons, but it was really quite good about the relationship between position sizing risk, execution risk, psychological considerations, and why you can simplify your life and focus on execution if you handle your psychology in a professional manner and concentrate on improving the exit strategy for winning trades. That's where you make the biggest difference in your performance. You should have standard exit strategy for the initial risk, But where you make your money and what you should be studying is the exit strategy for winning trades. That makes all the difference. All right, that's everything we got for today. We'll get this published and posted. See you tomorrow. Yeah, the OR3 entry is covered extensively in the foundation's Q&As. I've given that speech a dozen times in that course. And I'll cover it again on Sunday.